Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to do a video talking about Tylan Wallace, why he will be the steal of the draft. This will also be a film study, but let's get into it, right? So, before we get into it, actually, don't forget to like and subscribe. It really helps me pursue my dream as an NFL content creator. Now let's really get into it. So he ran a 4.48 unofficial 40-yard dash. That's not amazing, but that's not slow by any means. For a wide receiver, that's around average, and I think it could be worse. He could be running in the 4, late 5 range, but he also could be running in the early 4s. Now, there's some wide receivers when the fastest wide receivers, they don't do particularly well. For example, John Ross. Now there are all some exceptions, obviously like Tyreek Hill, but Henry Ruggs might have been a bust. We don't really know. We can't really see his future. But last year he wasn't doing very good. So I think he's a good player. Consider his speed. His speed's pretty good. His stats for the past 3 years at Oklahoma State. So he's been an extremely productive player, which you could see on the screen. So in 2018, he had 86 receptions, 491 goddamn yards, and 13 touchdowns. In 2019, he did cool off just a little bit. He still did really well, but compared to 2018, 54 receptions, 900 yards, 8 TDs. Not horrible by any means. It's extremely good, actually. Just not close to his 2018 performance. And then in 2020, he did bump up a little bit better with 59 receptions, 922 yards, and 6 TDs. So, at Oklahoma, he has been extremely productive. And I think he's one of the most productive receiver who will put up amazing stats on a team, regardless to what team they go to. Before the draft, he was projected to be picked early in the 3rd round by most NFL scouts, and me, but I'm not a scout, obviously. I actually had him being picked. I thought I could see him going late 2nd, but most people thought, including myself, he was going to be picked early 3rd. I thought there was no way he would slip to the 4th. There was no way, I personally thought. But I don't know why, just teams didn't really like him that much, and he fell all the way to the late of the 4th round, early, almost to the 5th round to the Baltimore Ravens. The Baltimore Ravens were able to get up and snag him. So Baltimore Ravens are an amazing place for him, to be honest. He's gonna he's gonna have a lot of playing time just because of the wide receiver void in the Baltimore Ravens. The Baltimore Ravens do not have that many receivers, and their wide receivers are not good. They let go of Willie Snead. He was mad, but he was still one of their best receivers, which is just sad when you think about it. Their wide receiver core consists of Marquise Hollywood Brown. Fun fact, he is Antonio Brown's cousin, so you learn something new every day, I guess. He's a good player, but not really a number 1. It should never be a number 1. I think he put up 800 yards last season. A little bit of a lame year. I think most people expected him to put up 1,000 plus, and he didn't do that well, and I personally don't see him putting up over 1,000 yards this season as well. Rashawn Bateman, they did draft at number 27 this year by the Ravens, or obviously the Ravens. So they did draft him this year. He's a good receiver. Out of Missouri. I think it's Missouri. I'm not sure. You can check my stats. But he's a good player, but I don't think he should be a number 1 either. Sammy Watkins is a good player, but they only signed him to a 1-year contract. I don't think they're going to extend him. So I want someone after that 1 year of Sammy Watkins to definitely be on the roster. And they have some decent depth pieces with Devin Duvernay, and they have a couple of scrubs that they signed in free agency as well. But the idea, what I'm trying to say, is their wide receiver core is extremely lackluster, and I think because of this, he's going to have a ton of playing time, and I could definitely see him having over 700 yards, and 5 TDs next year. That's personally my prediction of what he could be. So we're going to check over the film analysis in 3, 2, 1, and go. The film study part of the video, so let's get into it, right? So the first play is going to be a curl route, and it's going to be on man coverage. And you're just going to think to yourself, how the hell did he catch this football? It's one of the craziest catches I've ever seen in my entire life watching football. And when I was looking at this, I was like, how did he catch that? So he gets 1 foot in bounds barely. And, that's just crazy that he ended up catching that. That is an amazing catch. So one of his best traits is actually getting up in double coverage and just mossing defenders. So the quarterback thinks it's a one-on-one, but the safety tries to come over, but he just doesn't come in time. And it's not a bad play by the defender. It's actually an amazing play. But it's just a better play. You know, they're saying good defense, better offense. That's more used in basketball, but in football, it's a big thing, too. I mean, that's amazing coverage by the defender. It's just he gets mossed. I'll just pause it right there. That's amazing coverage by the defender. You can't ask the defender to do much more in that scenario. That's great coverage, you know what I mean? Again, right there, There's not much better coverage you can do. It's just a great play by Tylan Wallace. That's it. So it's going to be a wide receiver screen, and you're just going to see how many defenders he makes miss. Like, he makes, like, I think at least 4 or 5 or 6 defenders just completely miss on tackles. Like, it's actually absurd. And you could be saying, well, he made the bad defenders in college miss. I mean, like, he still made tons of defenders miss. 1, 2, 3, 4 defenders can't touch him. This is an absolutely amazing catch by him. It's going to be great concentration to catch that ball. That is very impressive. An amazing throw by the quarterback, though. So it's going to be like, and what I like in this place especially is that you see how, like, he's running that way and he turns around because he sees the football in midair. That is extremely impressive. Because he's running that way and he turns around to catch the football. That is very good. So this is going to be a fade route. It's just going to be, man, it's just going to moss him. You see him at the top of the screen. It's going to be a little fake RPO, I guess, whatever you want to call it. And he just sees his one-on-one coverage. And when this quarterback sees one-on coverage, he knows it's a touchdown already. So if he just throws up a good ball, and it ends up just getting mossed, to be honest. That's just the case. So yeah, it's like, that's just really impressive, not going to lie. So this is just going to be another out route, and it's just going to, and you're just going to think to yourself, how did he catch that? So we're going to look at it again. Right, it's just me like, whoa. So the defender tries to do something very smart. He tries to push Tylan Wallace out of bounds. It's actually really smart. But he's just too heavy, so, you know, that's that. This is going to be a slant route, or it's going to be a deep in, whatever you want to call it. And he's just going to just evade so many defenders. Right, so number one, he evades the first tackler, and then he cuts inside and ends up getting a touchdown. That is very impressive, and they're going to show one more replay of it. Great read by the quarterback, seeing inside. He sees the cutting in right over the defender's head. Catches it and just makes 2 defenders miss. That is very impressive by Tylan Wallace. Good throw and good catch. Good. I like the burst. What I like here is I like the cut inside and the burst that he was able to perform and the fight for those extra yards. So that's just another, I don't know what we call it, wide receiver screen. He's just able to make those defenders miss and plunge into the end zone. So if you liked the video, please consider subscribing. And like always, goodbye.